Welcome back to the highly original pheasant show. We like to talk about pheasants.
As you all know, that is a northern male pheasant mating call. Alright, and welcome back to the highly original podcast. I'm Joe Martino
Michael Ianieri.
And we're back for episode 4.
Episode 4, bud. Episode 4 already.
And, so, we have a pretty good podcast for you. We'll see.
Joe, you messed up one line. We have a great podcast.
We have a great podcast. I'm sorry.
We have a great podcast for you guys.
We have a great podcast. So let's start out. How you feeling tonight, Mike?
Honestly, I feel like Dennis isn't listening right now.
Like to this current?
Yeah, I just feel like Dennis isn't tuning in anymore.
To the whole.
Yeah.
To the whole show.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Well,
it's yeah.
Well, I'm feeling all right. I had some Dan Noodles.
Dan Noodles. How was that?
From a local, I guess Chinese place.
What is Dan Noodles? Or what are they?
I don't know if I can give you the technical.
Ingredient.
I feel like
how many grams of sodium, Joe?
It seems similar to lo mein, a little bit more solid though, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, is it spicy or?
Yeah.
Spicy,
so it's like a spicy chili oil.
Ooh, man.
Sauce. That
sounds banging. Was that something you would like seafood? That sounds.
I mean, maybe you could put shrimp in it or something.
Yeah.
I think mine came with pork.
Okay.
And I did the medium tier spice that the restaurant offered.
How was it?
It was pretty spicy. It wasn't intolerable.
Can you? Well, I know you can handle some spice.
Yeah.
What would you say is the hottest thing you ever ate though, real quick, man? You gotta remember off the top of your head.
Honestly, I don't know if I do.
Really?
Something that I like. Well, so I used to. So here I go talking about Italy again.
It's alright.
But when I lived in Rome,
it's okay. Let us say
there were a lot of Bangladeshi people.
Okay.
That had immigrated, and they had businesses in the neighborhood I lived in.
Right.
So there was a Bangladeshi restaurant, right? And I used to go in, and they had this beef dish, and it was spicy beef, right?
Yeah.
It was fantastic. But I would go in, and I would say can I have it really spicier? And the guy would get nervous because because I'm not Bangladeshi, he's nervous that I don't have the tolerance for their cuisines spice, right?
Yeah, man.
So this guy, and it became a thing. It became a running joke when I would go there, and he'd be all right, I'll go talk to the chef. I remember the first time I did it, he goes to the chef, he goes back, and then I'm looking into over the kitchen door, the doorway, and the chef just pops his head out. It's half of his body. And he looks at me, and he smiles and waves.
Oh no!
And I just wave at him. Yeah. And he pops back in. And then they would make me this spicy beef. But they would do it sometimes. But I think it was kind of eventually it became a little bit of a game or a gimmick.
But was that one of the spiciest things you've had? Was it really?
I think one time.
Could you finish?
One time they made it real hot, and it. Yeah. I finished it, but it was.
My man.
It was there was one time where it was pretty hot. There are times where I've had Indian food is similar to Bangladeshi food. Right. Culinarily, I think they're similar.
Do they use families. Naan, the naan bread, the?
Yeah, that's
stuff,
that.
Man.
Yeah, but they have a lot of spice foods. I'd say of the spiciest foods I've had, it would be some of the spicier end of the Indian foods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And
nice.
And this Bangladeshi food. But most of the time I can handle the spice. Palate. I've never been where I was I
can't do this.
I can't do this. Nah. But yeah, I'm usually pretty
pretty good with it, dude. My uncle brought like ghost peppers one time, and I just put one in my mouth. My friend ate one, and I remember like he was in the front. He was like the curb out front, like beet red as an apple. And he drank, I think, like half a gallon of milk, and I drank the other half, dude, and it did not go away. Like, that was the worst experience. Yeah. My brother even had this, like, spicy, like, challenge thing he bought. And that was really hot, man. It was, like, these chips, like, the one-chip challenge, but it was, like...
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that. Like, did you do that?
I didn't do the one-chip challenge.
Packy?
Packy, yeah. My brother bought, like, an actual bag. Like, you could eat, like, they're hot, dude, but they're not the one-chip challenge hot. Like,
no, I never did it.
Done. That hurt.
I never did it.
You ever watch the one show? It's like Hot Ones.
Is that the one where the guy like
has like, all the different hot sauces?
Interviews people.
Yeah,
like celebrities,
like really hot, spicy chicken, and like sometimes they cannot even like hang.
Man. Yeah, I've seen like clips of it, but I've never like watched.
Well, get this, bro. They sell like you can go to like the store. I think like Walmart has like their chicken, but the chicken like. It's not so much about the chicken, it's the sauce they sell with it. It is so spicy, I kid you not, I cried. Like, I wasn't sobbing, but dude, my eyes were so... And my brother and my friend, we were crying. It was so hot.
I've gotten to the point where, like, your nostrils start to open up.
Yeah,
like, that kind of thing.
Your, like, whole body's, like, hot, but, like, cold. It's terrible, man. It's
terrible feeling. I've gotten to the point where, like, I sweat.
Yeah, and then you feel like you're like thinking to yourself like, dude, this spice is never gonna go away. I'm done. And then like an hour later,
I don't get like that, man.
I get
because I like the spicy food, so I'm not.
Are you like I am? Like if I eat something spicy, like a bite, I have to just keep eating the whole thing until it's all gone.
I mean, I don't know. What do you mean by that?
Like if I gave you like a pot of like really spicy ramen and like it was like you just had like a forkful of it and it was spicy, man. Like you knew it was hot, but it was so hot that you had to have more. You know what I mean? Ever got like that?
Okay.
Like it's so hot, it's so painful that it's like good. Like it's like
I guess. Yeah, I don't know if I use those terms, but like I get what you're saying.
Yeah, no. If I like eat something spicy, man, like I cannot stop. I just have to eat the whole thing, and I have to cry, and I have to regret it.
You have to cry.
I have to cry. It's part of the spicy.
It's part of the routine.
The Michael spicy algorithm.
Okay.
For those of you who don't know. Yeah, no, I have to cry every time. Nah, man, but like, I don't know, man. I can handle spicy food, but there's some stuff out there, man, that just sends shivers down my spine.
All right, what's the hottest thing? Did you already say what yours was?
The hottest thing,
I think. Was chips?
Nah, it was like a ghost pepper, I think.
Okay,
I think that was the hottest thing. I can't remember.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean.
Yeah, but what was it called? Noodles? The
Oh yeah, Dan Noodles.
Yeah, I gotta give it a shot.
Yeah, so it was my first time having them. So
okay,
or at least to my memory. I mean, I might have had them before. I almost got them. Almost got them a few days ago, or yeah, I guess a few days ago.
And would you say
I didn't? So now I was able to have them.
Would you say they're like noodles?
What?
Would you say they're like noodles?
Yeah.
Oh, they are noodles. I knew this.
Yeah, they're called Dan Noodles, Mike. So yeah, they're like noodles.
There you go.
All right, so with that.
I'm just kidding.
We're gonna go into our first topic. Our main topic, though, as you know, I like to tease the nostalgic topic, is gonna be the emo subculture, and by extension, all the subcultures that Mike and I grew up with in the sort of 2000s, early 2010s.
Right.
You know, that late 2000s, early 2010s.
There's a lot of different stuff. Yeah, man.
Kind of
like
all
that jazz. We'll definitely get to that.
Yeah, so that's our main topic. I'd say our first topic I want to do is forbidden television shows. So what TV shows? So I'll tell you what I mean by that. Is like, what TV shows growing up were you not allowed to watch? Because I had a lot that my mom banned.
Okay. See, real quick, my mom was the kind of person that said like, this is her philosophy, and my grandmother's a little different. My mom said you can do whatever you want, you can watch whatever you want, you listen to whatever music. I really don't care what it sounds like, what's in it. She's like, Mike, if I ever catch you doing something, if I ever catch you bullying somebody, if I ever catch you smoking a cigarette, drinking underage, if I ever catch you doing any of those things, she said, I'll take all that stuff I allowed you to watch away and then some. And I was like, I respect that, Mom. And I was always a good kid, so I always got to watch like whatever I wanted. As long and like she would say, yeah, you can dye your hair any color, do whatever you want, just don't do anything bad, or I will take your life. And I was like, all right, Ma, sounds good.
But your grandmother.
My grandmother, though, did not like us watching The Sopranos. She would get so offended by that. She was like, oh, this misrepresents us.
How old were you when you were watching
this? Dude, I was young. Because, like I said,
this is when it was out?
Yeah, it was like when it was out.
So you were like a
it was specifically
like
the
episode. Child.
Specifically the episode when Ralph Cifaretto gets, like, hacked up in a tub. That's, that episode. I remember that vividly, and I remember my grandmother being furious and like, dude, turn it off. We had to turn the TV off and everything. And like, my grandmother had a little argument, but my grandmother was like, no, we're not watching that. Like, no, he's not allowed to watch that stuff. And I knew it was, like, kind of knew it was.
Hey, I mean, I love The Sopranos, but I gotta agree with your grandmother there.
Yeah,
like.
Man.
You would have been like, what? Like,
I will say
that.
4, yeah. I'm glad that everything worked out the way it did. Because, like, dude, I want to be a filmmaker and I want to do all these things, man. And I just think it has a lot to do with those early memories of, like, just being able to watch, like, Friday the 13th or, whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah, I feel like that's kind of what spawned, like. Yeah, I'd say Sopranos was probably the one show that was
the one forbidden one.
The one forbidden show. And there might have been another one. Like, my grandmother did not like me watching SpongeBob because she felt like she would always mock his laugh.
That's interesting. There's a lot of people I talked to that were not allowed to watch SpongeBob.
Yeah,
that was a thing.
Yeah, no, obviously I watched it. Like my grandmother didn't care that much about it, but she was still like, "Oh, you shouldn't watch that show. It's gonna, you're gonna be like that stupid sponge." And I was
what? My family was pretty pro SpongeBob. I mean, my dad and I were the ones, like, we discovered it together.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, this is hilarious.
No, yeah.
SpongeBob was A-okay. See, for me, it was a lot of, like, and we're talking about, like, when I wasn't allowed to watch certain shows. That's, like, early on. I'd say by the time I was, like, let's go 14.
Okay.
The bans were lifted on everything.
Right.
So, like, early on, like my mom did not want me to watch Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Really?
Like, and like during that whole run, by the time I was like, the bans were all lifted, I think that show was over.
Right.
But so I would have to like kind of clandestinely watch it every once in a while. I was never like that big into it either.
But when they were banned, did you watch? Like, did you ever sneak an episode?
I would see Ed, Edd n Eddy. I feel like a lot of Cartoon Network was kind of blacklisted for me until I was like probably like a time around like when Chowder came out.
Yeah.
When did that come out?
Chowder. Yeah, dude, that had to come out around like
let's see,
08, something like that.
Yeah, so I feel like maybe around like 08, the ban started to get lifted on like stuff.
Chowder was a wholesome show, yeah.
I'd be like a tween by that time. So I feel like by then my mom was not as strict with the ban.
Right.
And I feel like it kind of went away around that time. But then I feel like I was 14 when I officially like realized I don't need to hide watching shows from my mom. You know what I mean?
I know what you're saying.
Because we were down, we were staying down the shore, and like some of her friend and her kids were there, and we were all around the same age, and we were watching Family Guy on the TV.
Yeah.
And like I had been watching Family Guy for like a year or two at that point, like secretly at night, and my mom walks in, I like kind of look at her, I'm like, I was like, all right, like, do I have to turn it off? Like, am I not allowed to watch this? And she was like, nah, you can. And that was like kind of like, okay.
Yeah, it was like a lift.
That's like, I don't have to hide anymore what I watch, you know. But,
well, did you ever get like uncomfortable watching certain things around like your mom and dad? Like oh, I can't watch this around them. Like there's like a kissing scene or something like that. Or did you did not watch that kind of content? Like, Because I remember watching Spider-Man with my mom, and like every time, like Mary Jane and Spider-Man would have that like upside down kiss, dude, I would leave the room and be like, "Ew, that's gross," and then come back and be like, "Yeah, they're done kissing. That's gross." Like I was always so like embarrassed to watch certain things. Like I wasn't allowed to watch stuff.
Yeah.
I was embarrassed, like, because I grew up in a house full of women, like. So anything like that, dude, I was so embarrassed by. I was like, nah, man. I guess I had a ban for myself on certain.
Yeah, that sounds like more you were.
Yeah, like I was the one to control.
No, yeah. So I just wanted to throw that out there, like kind of the banned.
Yeah, man.
Forbidden television.
Yeah, anybody like listening on YouTube right now, please comment.
Codename Kids Next Door. That was like I had to clandestinely watch that too.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, because that was like, and and because of that, like I couldn't watch all of it. Like I couldn't get. I was never into it because like I would only watch it so like abruptly.
Yeah.
No,
for sure.
I would only know like some of the episodes.
You can't like binge watch it at home comfortably.
No.
Right.
No, not like SpongeBob where like I can like quote
everything. Yeah.
Like like a lot of the first 3 seasons I can quote to you. Like like stuff like that. But
dude, I love SpongeBob too, growing up, man.
No, yeah. I mean, we're definitely doing the SpongeBob.
Oh, for sure, man.
SpongeBob episode is gonna have to come
for sure.
But yeah, I'd say I'm trying to think and then the one I really had to sneak, and this was when I was pretty young and probably shouldn't have been watching it, was like South Park.
Yeah,
because I would sneak that one. Like I'd be watching that in my bedroom at night. I feel like by the time I discovered Family Guy, that's like when I'd be watching it downstairs after my parents like went to bed.
Right.
Or something, but like the South Park one, that's when I'm like, I was probably way too young to be watching this.
Yeah, and you were sneaking it, man.
And like that was like really
over your shoulder.
Yeah, and like so.
Yeah, that's another one my grandma didn't like South Park. That was another one in my house.
Well, I mean, like I know that's not for kids.
That's definitely not for kids.
But yeah, so I don't know. Is there any other?
I mean, what about banned movies? Are there any banned movies? Banned cinema?
Movies. That's
anything like you can't watch that. I mean, obviously, like maybe an R-rated film or something like that.
See, I feel like it was just like if it was rated R, like I just couldn't watch it. I don't remember it being like my mom or
she
dad
probably let
was
the
like,
rating systems do the
was
talking
like
on that.
yeah, it wasn't like oh you can't like watch specifically like Scarface or something,
Yeah, no, right.
I mean, maybe if she came
on,
like, if she like came in the room when I was watching Scarface, she'd be like, "You can't watch this."
Yeah, right.
But interestingly enough, man, my dad showed me The Godfather when I was like 10.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
I mean,
man.
so like it could be like kind of arbitrary,
man,
like, and my mom like knew that he was gonna do that.
I feel like when I have a son, we're gonna have that special day where it's like, look, I'm gonna show you a movie called
The Godfather.
Yeah, I can't wait for that day, man. I can't wait.
No, yeah. I mean, yeah. I think I was talking to a buddy of mine one time, and he was like, "Yeah, he like watched The Godfather like I think like around the same time with his father, man. Like or something."
Without getting too much, with our loving for The Godfather, do you remember like that night specifically watching it for the first time? Were you bored of it like a lot of younger kids?
I could appreciate it. I was able to appreciate it.
Me too. I loved it.
I mean, maybe I wasn't 10. I might have been like 11 or 12. I was somewhere between 10 and 12.
Okay.
Is how old I was.
Okay. We could definitely gotta have a Godfather episode.
It was enough that I could appreciate. I was able to like understand like it wasn't like I was bored because it wasn't like constant shooting.
Yeah, and like
I could understand like there's like
now was it like a tradition like all right now we gotta watch Godfather 2 or was it just Godfather?
No, we watched Godfather 2, and then later on I forget if we watched Godfather 3 together or if I think I bought my dad all of the Godfathers on DVD.
Oh yeah,
but we never watched the third one together. I think I just watched that by myself one time.
The third one,
yeah. I don't think maybe my dad wasn't.
Probably don't want to watch it.
Trying to watch that one.
Good movie.
Do you think Godfather 2 is better than Godfather 1? I think Godfather 1's better.
I think Godfather 1 is like the standard for like a mafia film.
Yeah.
I'm not taking anything away from any other mafia film, but that you cannot replicate what that movie did, man. There was just some scenes in there and the dialogue, like Godfather 2, fantastic film. But like even when like Don Vito Corleone and Michael are having that talk out back over like wine and like peanuts, and they're just talking about like like how's the kid? She's reading the funny papers. I can't like small dialogue like that. I was like, man, like
did you ever watch the edit where they do it like fully chronologically? Like so they take all of the movies together,
right, and then
all the scenes are just in chronological order.
Don Corleone as a child, Don Vito Corleone as a child.
Yeah.
No, that sounds crazy. I've never even heard of that concept. That's like an actual thing.
I feel like that would be cool. I would want to watch it.
Is that a real thing? Or?
I believe so.
Yeah, man, I definitely got to check that out.
I believe that is a cut of the movie.
That would be insane, man. That'd be crazy. I'd sit there the whole time and watch that because I feel like that would make it so different. Like it would be such a different thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that would be crazy. Actually, that's like watching like The Wizard of Oz would have like Dark Side of the Moon playing or something like that. It's one of those things. It's just like, man, you got to do it. I would love to watch The Godfather chronologically, like. That's crazy. Not like Godfather 1, 2, 3, but like you said, like
they edit them. They edit them all together.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And all the scenes. There's no flashbacks. All of the flashbacks are just in order.
Yeah, man, that's cool. I never heard of that. I gotta check that out though if that's available. I'm gonna have to cut that together myself.
Yeah, I don't know where the availability of it would be, but I do think it is a thing.
I wonder. I gotta do some research on that. That's smart.
No, but that's interesting. Like forbidden movies. Oh, you know what I wanted to talk to you about? Because I was thinking when you said it's forbidden movies, what about like forbidden games? And I know you're gonna say no.
Forbidden games?
No, I was allowed to play everything. So I wasn't, Mike. I was not allowed to play everything. Okay. So,
sorry.
Like, I feel like for me, like my mom, like with video games, it was like, and again, this is like until I'm like 12 to 14, then like
right, yeah,
like
well, most shows had a TV 14. Like
these bans were either lifted or not enforced. Right. Like it was like you couldn't be the bad guy. So like no Grand Theft Auto, like I wasn't allowed to play that. I couldn't even play Need for Speed.
Really, that's like my earliest memory.
Because you're running from the cops, and my mom didn't like that. Like my mom didn't want me to be a bad guy.
Right. Well, that was mindset too.
That was like the big thing, right?
Yeah, that was definitely the big thing.
I had a version of Need for Speed. It was Need for Speed 2, and in that version you can play as the cop. I was allowed to have that one.
Okay, there you go.
As long as I played as the cop.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Was you watching or not?
I couldn't play like the regular gameplay.
Really?
I mean, playing as the cop was actually pretty fun, though.
Yeah. Did you ever, like, stop at the green lights on Grand Theft Auto?
Well, I couldn't play it.
Shoot.
And, like, I feel like I didn't know anybody who had it either, so, like, I never...
Yeah. No,
I don't think I was ever... I was able to play, like, Need for Speed at other people's houses, but, like...
Grand Theft Auto, even for me, I remember was one of those things, like...
I don't think I really knew anybody
he could watch Sopranos, but we're not gonna, let him be in control of this character that can possibly do terrible things. Yeah, it was like that too. But like, and then again, my mom enforced her law. Like, it's my son. Like, if he keeps up with everything, if he does not, do anything wrong to anybody, if he's a good kid, you could. It's movies, it's TV, it's not real. That was her mindset.
Oh yeah.
So I guess I was, I don't have too much, like fuel for this topic.
No,
I feel
a bad topic.
No, it's a great topic. I just feel like I'm a bad host. No, I'm kidding, Joe. I'm a great host.
Bad host.
I'm a highly original host.
Highly original host.
No, but I think that was a good topic, man.
I mean, I think it definitely is interesting.
That was interesting to learn more about, like, stuff that, like, that's
hopefully some of you folks at home can relate to this topic.
Exactly. I would like to hear, though, too, in the comments, because this is YouTube, man. Like, people, as they start, we're going to get more and more views. I want to hear what you guys have to say. If you want to tune in and give us, like, your opinion, what you couldn't watch either, that'd be cool, man.
Oh, yeah.
Get to know our subscribers.
Definitely. Because we want to be like,
Yeah, we want you to know us.
Yeah.
Like we know you.
Exactly.
And that's the best way to do it.
Exactly.
Comment your thoughts.
I wish I could have said that without freezing up there like that. I just did.
You know what?
I feel like we've exhausted this topic. So
we did, man.
I'm gonna force us along.
Force us along, Joe.
All right.
I'm excited for this.
I got Italian cynicism.
Italian cynicism, man.
So, like, what I'm really talking about is, like, you know, like, how, like, some older Italian men can just be, like, cynical.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
About things
about
that,
everything,
like, that you don't really need to be cynical about.
Oh, yeah.
So,
For
I mean, I feel like I know you have examples of this,
A lot, yeah.
So, I mean, I have some stories myself. So, I don't know if you want to jump in first or if I should go. How we want to play this?
I think you should go first, man. You should go first.
Right.
Yeah, set the stage. Set the bar.
All right, I'm gonna set the stage for you.
Thanks.
It's the 1970s. My grandfather's taking his family through a Sunday drive, because you know how that was like a thing.
It was a big thing.
That was just like a thing that people did.
Right? Yeah, man.
Aren't you just glad that you live in a time with the internet? No, I'm kidding. No, there's something fun about the family drive. I don't want to be like trashing on that.
Fun
too.
about? No, I'm kidding, man. I know what you're saying.
No,
yeah, like
but wait.
I think everybody listening would rather Google stuff than be in the car.
So we have nothing to do on Sunday after church, so we ate the pancakes, and now it's time to let's just drive. No,
don't say nothing.
No, but I think there's something to be said about
that's special, man.
that.
That's cool, man.
That does seem fun.
In all seriousness, yeah.
But yeah, so it's my grandfather's taking his family through the countryside, right? Mm-hmm. And you know how realistically we don't live too far from Amish Country,
right? Yeah, true.
You know,
true.
So they would go out there, right? And you know, once you go to Amish Country in Pennsylvania, like there's people just like with the Amish use their horse and buggies,
right?
And they're just on the street. And my grandfather would like see them and would say to my father and like the family, like, they do that just for show. So like he was like implying basically my grandfather believed that the Amish were running some sort of like this wasn't real. This was an act to fool us.
Yeah, right.
Like once they go home, they like have technology or something. Like the horse and buggy is like a false flag operation.
About stop churning that butter. We know you buy. I can't believe it's not butter.
Yeah, but he would just be like, they do that just for show.
And that is such like an Italian thing to say too, man. Like that's great.
It's like, and you're like, what?
Like why would they do that? Yeah.
Like why? But why are you thinking about that like that? Like why?
Yeah, what you're saying. Yeah, like why are you getting that in depth? Yeah, like that's an Italian thing, man.
Why are you suspicious of the Amish?
and their horse and buggies.
Yeah, and then you know my grandfather. Like this is even like. I'm surprised my grandfather was like okay after this. So he went to Mexico City, right?
Okay.
So he, you know, that's where the famous Our Lady of Guadalupe image is, right? You know, and for those of you who don't know, you might recognize it's an image of the Virgin Mary that's you know, in like indigenous garb, and she's like kind of like a native in this image. Yeah, like her skin is dark. She has like black hair and everything. You know, if you saw it, you recognize it. And this is arguably the most important symbol of the Mexican people and the Mexican nation, right?
Right.
Like it's like their flag and the image of the Our Lady of Guadalupe.
Right. Yeah. Of course.
So my grandfather goes to this place, you know, and he's looking at the image, and there's a Mexican security guard who works in the church, right? You know,
right? Yeah.
And he's like a Mexican, you know. So this is really important to him. He's, you know, his job is important to him. He guards like the national symbol of his country. Like
it's his life.
My grandfather's like, that's not real.
That's not real.
He says this to like the Mexican guard, and the Mexican guard's like, "No, that's real." And my grandfather's like, "Nah," and like the Mexican guard apparently was getting like mad at it, like, was like really like offended.
Right, yeah, man.
But it's like, you know, and I don't know what I forget all the story, and maybe my relatives, once they hear this, they'll be able to fill me in. Like, my grandfather was a devout Catholic. It's not like he didn't believe in like, you know, stuff like that. But I guess for whatever reason, he thought that maybe, like, this was a forgery that they presented. like the real one was hidden somewhere. Or, like, you know, it's like some are like, that this event didn't happen. I don't know. Like, what it was. Like, but he didn't believe that image in that glass was the real one or something. He was like, that's not real. And he's like saying this to like a guy whose whole livelihood and country is represented by this image. Like,
now, how do you think he would have reacted if the tables were turned and they were like, oh, that picture of the Blessed Mother, that's not the real one. Would he have been like as like on the same level?
Well, like I guess it depends. Like what I don't know if there's. I don't know if like Italian Americans have like quite an equivalent.
Padre Pio?
Maybe if someone was like Padre Pio,
like
is it like that? That's like all
real.
fake.
Oh man,
it was fake or something. But like, I'm not sure. Like, I don't know what like. I mean, if it was something he believed, then he probably would have like defended it.
Because I like the Mexican people, the Italian people are similar, and the Mexican American, Italian American people are very similar too. And like,
I've noticed a lot of like, like similarities.
A lot, man. It's not funny. I wonder how if it was like the shoes were reversed, probably the same scenario, just reverse roles. Like, that's so funny though, man. That's
So, but again, I don't want to present. It's not like my grandfather was, you know. He was Catholic. He wasn't. No. Yeah, it wasn't like he was like
he believed in it. He just said, "Oh, it's not the real." Like, it's not
like he was like an angry atheist walking around churches, like going like, "This is crap." It wasn't like that. Like, no, he was
for sure, man. For sure, man.
But yeah, so those are my examples. I don't know if you have.
No, I could definitely.
I'm sure you have a book's worth.
So this is kind of a topic that I want to talk about later, but I'll be brief with my explaining of it.
Okay.
I had an experience, and I believe it was a ghostly, haunted experience, right? And I heard these footsteps in this old, creepy apartment that me and my ex-girlfriend were staying at, and we're living at, and it was not an apartment. It was like an old Victorian house.
Was this Jersey or
no? This is Pennsylvania, in Ardmore, actually. Yeah, and it's like an old Victorian house. It's like hundreds of years old, and they were doing all this remodeling in there, right? So there's no upstairs.
You got those old money ghosts.
Yeah, man. Basically, like, we heard, essentially it was like, I don't want to, it's so cliche, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I've always experienced things there, like, that shouldn't be.
Nah, well, I think, what's it? It's like 3 o'clock. That's like
the witching hour.
Yeah, that's
it was freaky, dude. I heard these footsteps going upstairs, and, like, it was bad. And it was these really freaky footsteps. And there's nobody else in this apartment with us. Because, like, she got caught on a lease, an 8-month lease, right?
Yeah.
While they were, like, renovating this whole apartment. So I knew for sure, like, there's not even an upstairs floor. I hear footsteps going upstairs, and I hear, like, all this moving around. So
I don't like this story.
No, so I go tell my family, and I tell my grandfather.
Okay.
Nah, that's not real. And I'm like, what do you mean it's not real? Like,
it's not real.
He was like, nah, it's not real. And I'm like, Papa, what are you talking about? It's not real.
So it's not even like he's saying like,
no, it's
not a ghost. He's saying it's like it's not even happening.
He was saying it was the owner of the apartment, like the actual owner, put a machine in there to scare us out of there. And I was like,
that's like the most.
And he was like, nah, you stupid, Papa, you don't know, it's not real. And I was like, because like it's hard to explain what a ghost is to him. I was like, Diavolo, woo! And he was like, he understood. And he was like, man, that's not real. And I'm like, yeah, but I heard it. No one's gonna put a machine that sounds like footsteps.
He's like, oh no, that's ridiculous. It's obviously a machine to scare you out of the lease.
Like, what is it, like a Dr. Seuss like stepping machine? No, I was like, oh, it's real. And I remember arguing with them all the time about that. And they just got so many things. Like, I'm working on this. Like, here, Joe, you know the animation I've been grinding out. Joe even asked me today, and I love Joe and I appreciate him. He said, how am I doing? Because I've been working on, like, little sleep, and when I do sleep, it's, like, for, like, 10, 15 hours because I was up 2 days. So I'm really working on this animation. Really trying to get the show out there. And my grandfather goes like this. They'll see me working down there and go, hey, you You work television? That's what he calls like my show, television.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, I'm working on it, and he'll like shake his head like no, and like give me this grin like, I don't know, you sure? And I'm like yeah, like what is this? He's like, nah, you're not doing it. I'm like, what are you talking? You say it, and I'm just like, Papa, please. And I can go on for hours about just my grandfather, like all the things he doesn't believe. And I think another one. Well, my grandfather's funny like this. I don't know if this is like.
I don't know if anything's gonna beat the machine that the landlord planted in the attic to scare
us. Yeah, and I said that's. And I told him, I said, and I experienced stuff like I don't want to bring up because, like I said, I want to have like an episode where it's specifically about maybe paranormal, experiences, maybe get someone on. So I don't want to delve too much in all the experiences, but like I told him some things that obviously could not be a robot walking machine, and I was like, "Pop, come on, man."
But like
and he just thinks like,
I don't know, to me, I'm like the idea that there would be such a machine that exists.
Yeah, like for this purpose. Like he's like, nah, that's the stepping 3000.4. Like no, it's not. Put it this way: my grandfather, when he came to this country, 1958, came over in 1958. He thought King Kong was real for the first year being here. He wanted to go to New York to see the giant monkey.
Oh.
And I'm like, Papa, like you thought King Kong was real at one point. Like you don't now. I know that. Because every time we see a movie with him, Superman, Spider-Man, he has to let me know that it's not real. Like, hey Mike, it's not real. And I'm like, I know. And he's like, nah, it's not real. And I'm like, I know, I'm agreeing with you. 5 minutes go by. Mike, I'm telling you, it's not real. It's just a computer. And I'm like, I know. So I said, Papa, I said, you, like, I was trying to be rude. I was like, you believed in King Kong? And I said this in Italian. I was like, I'm not going to say in Italian now. I said, you believed in King Kong, but you don't believe? I heard, like, steps.
Yeah.
Like, how did I say it?
You're like, do you say, like, Ray? Like, King?
No, I just said, like, Ushimeros, big monkey. Like,
oh, it's like, you don't translate King Kong?
No, I don't think he knows. My grandfather's, like, he's 85% deaf since he was 2 years old. So he's always had that, he couldn't really hear too good. And he speaks a deaf man's broken English. So
okay.
He, he just calls King Kong Big Monkey. So that's how I communicate with him. I'll just say it in Italian. But, like, yeah, he's got a lot of things he thinks are, like, not real. And I can go on for days about him. I can write a book about it, actually. How many things my grandfather thinks that I'm, like, trying to fool him with. Like, bro, I just be down here all day just drawing pictures for nothing just to prank you that I'm making, like, an animated show. Like, what is that? And then we'll drive, and then we'll see, like, a billboard of a cartoon and be like, you didn't make that, did you? And I'm like, no. And he's like, I know, you can do it. I'm like, I can get a billboard. Yeah, I can make a billboard. He's like, nah, you can't do it. I'm like, Papa, I can. He's like, I don't think so.
Oh,
man.
Man.
What are you going to prove this to? Like, he thinks, like, everything's not real. And I love that because it always makes me want to prove myself to him.
Okay. I love that. Now, before we wrap up on this topic, we've been making fun of this topic, but, like, kind of a two-pronged question here.
Okay.
Do you see yourself exhibiting these stereotypical Italian male cynicisms? Because I feel like I can get kind of.
I can get though. I'm not gonna.
Sometimes I'll be like, yeah, you're trying to scam me. Like some random person.
I think everybody's out. Like if it's something funny, like one more time on my grandfather.
But not everything. I'm not like thinking the whole world's out to get me. But like sometimes I feel like I can be a little bit.
The other day, my grandfather was a giant, and he was in an electric scooter because he can't walk anymore. God, he used to one of the strongest guys I know. Can't walk no more.
Okay.
It's not. He can't. He was in an electric scooter. He was bringing stuff to his car. A young lady asked him if he needed help. He came home and told me, yeah, somebody asked if I need help, but I'm not stupid. They want to steal my money. I said, Pop, so they're just pretending to help you? They just really want to rob you? So he's like that. Like, he thinks everybody's out to get him. He's like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, well, don't trust nothing. That's how my grandfather is. Yeah. I'm not like that.
Yeah, I'm not
like
saying.
You said, I do. If I sense a scam, like, I'll definitely get.
But there are like things that sometimes. Yeah, like I think sometimes it's good to be like,
dude, for
cynical
sure.
and stuff. Or
yeah,
like,
it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy world.
And I mean, especially like talking like, with your pop and my grandfather, like my grandfather was he was the first generation, a natural born American.
Okay.
So his parents were immigrants.
Right.
He grew up in like an immigrant household. Your pop was an immigrant.
Right.
And I think sometimes immigrants, they have to be a little bit. They have to be a little bit more careful because people can try to take advantage of them.
Well, yeah, that's everybody listening, they probably have no concept of my grandfather. He, like I said, 85% deaf, and coming over to this country, barely speaking, not speaking English, and barely speaking proper Italian because you have that speech impediment from being deaf.
Yeah.
My grandfather had to always be on his toes for people out to screw him over and take his money or cheat him out of something. So he's always, I guess it just kind of followed through. But yeah, I feel like most immigrants have to be that way because the things they have to overcome to get here, get wherever they go. Yeah, for me, it's
I can understand why our grandfathers would be like that because I think that's something that sometimes is experienced in the immigrant experience. I'm not gonna speak too broadly. I think everybody has their own experiences, but I think that might be part of it.
I agree with you, man. I agree with you.
But yeah, I feel sometimes I can be a little bit cynical.
Yeah, a little bit.
And even sometimes to the degree where I'm like, all right, Joe, I'm being ridiculous right now.
Yeah, but then you're good though. I don't do that. I'm.
But then other times I will be like, what? I think I'm right. I think I'm right to be suspicious right now.
And that's good. It's good to be like that. You just, I know everybody likes to act like we live in the best, perfect world in the world. I said that 3 times, but you got to be cautious. You never know. Something bad could happen. So it's good to be, I guess, a little question things. Not cynical, but I guess it's good to, not trust everything. So
be careful.
Careful, that's the word. I'm over saying all these words, just try to say one word, man. That's crazy.
It's all right, man.
It's not good.
It's all right.
Appreciate it.
All right, so I'm looking at us on time. So I think, it's probably... I mean, that conversation was pretty good, but I'm surprised it went as long as it did. But... yeah. All right. Let's get to the meat of today.
Oof! Excited, man. Excited.
So, I mean, the more I think about it, the more I'm thinking this conversation is going to go in a different direction.
Right. Like most of our end topics do.
Yeah. This is going to end on what kind of Parmesan is best.
Right. But
No. And the answer is eggplant. But
exactly.
No. So I wanted to talk about the emo subculture, but then kind of from that the subcultures that you felt like you were involved in. So I don't know. Do you feel like? So all right, I guess we'll have to do a little bit of a history lesson here, real quick.
Okay.
So for those of you who don't know, the emo subculture was there was music associated with it. And clothing, it's kind of gothic, but kind of an intersection of goth and punk.
Okay, yeah.
I'd say is the clothing style.
For sure, yeah, for sure.
A lot of the lyrics are very angsty driven.
Yeah,
I
stubbed my toe.
You got bands like My Chemical Romance, Fall Out Boy. I don't know. Would you put Paramore in there?
Dude, don't kill me.
No,
I don't even know.
Yeah, okay, you don't even know what I'm saying. That's all right, Mike. That's all right.
You know what, Joe? I failed you. Let's keep this going because I don't want to fail you no more.
All right, Mike, just hold it together. Hold it together.
Sorry.
Emo. Yeah. So I don't know. Panic at the Disco. There we go. I'm gonna random out 3 examples.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I feel like I always like to say that I was emo adjacent.
Emo adjacent.
Yes.
And so those of us that don't know what adjacent means, seriously?
Okay, yeah. So adjacent is kind of parallel, kind of I don't know exactly how you would describe it. Is linked to, but not quite part.
Okay.
Of.
And for those of us who don't know what "of" means, no, keep going. I'm sorry.
No, yeah.
I didn't know what adjacent meant though. Seriously.
So I feel like I was definitely associated with the emo subculture.
Okay.
I did not dress emo. I don't think I was emo, but I listened to some of the music. I was friends with with people who were
Right.
who I at least either identified as emo, or you could like kind of they were clearly adopting parts of the fashion and
Yeah,
stuff.
for sure. Like, you know.
But I remember like Paramore, for example. I remember my friend. This is back in like grade school.
Yeah.
She gave me the album. She let me borrow her copy of the album Riot by Paramore.
Okay.
And I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, Hayley Williams is the greatest female vocalist of all time.
Yeah.
Like, I was like gung-ho about Paramore, man.
Yeah, man.
Misery Business, Crush, Crush, Crush.
Dang, Joe.
Yeah, Fences. I'm just listening to
Man,
songs from that
yeah,
album. But
I
I was. You probably know some of them.
No,
if I played some of these songs,
that's the thing.
I think Paramore, they had songs in like the Twilight movies and stuff too. Like,
I'm just trying to think. Like,
no.
I bet I heard that name, but I can't tell you a song, bro. I swear to God.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine, man. It's fine.
I'm just like, you said a lead female vocalist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that.
She like famously had like dyed red hair.
Like, I definitely know of that band. Like, I'm not, you know what I mean? I just, like, I'm not.
If I played one of the songs for you, wouldn't you
Definitely.
would
After the
probably
show,
recognize
Joe's going to play a song, and I'm going to recognize it.
We're just going to listen to the whole album of Riot.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
No, but, yeah, so I feel like I was definitely, like, I don't know, I would, like, listen to some of the music. For myself, I feel that I was, like, I would describe myself as, like, an indie kid or indie pop, like I like the indie pop, indie rock, alternative rock kind of stuff. That's what I listen to.
Right.
I feel like that's kind of how I dressed. I would wear like kind of like simple graphic tees.
Yeah, like a band T-shirt, like
every like stuff like that. I mean, nothing like too like.
No, I know.
It's like I didn't shop at Hot Topic.
Right? Yeah, you didn't.
But
have,
my friends did. I have
Osiris shoes.
I had friends. I don't remember what Osiris. What are Osiris?
What were those?
Shoes?
Remember Osiris or something like that? I don't know.
No, I really don't remember.
Big
that.
like sneakers that like were always at like Hot Topic. Like I always remember.
Dude.
Or Osiris. I don't even know how you spell
So
it.
sometimes I'm like surprised Hot Topics still exist.
Yeah, no, they do exist.
And my friend, shout out to Pat. He sent me this meme today, and it was like, this picture. It's like a lock, like a door lock with a key in it.
Okay.
But the key is on a key ring
attached
to someone's nose, and the caption's like "Hot Topic managers closing up for the night."
Yeah, not really, man. Really, nah.
Like,
it was like a nose ring with like the key.
Yeah. But I feel like in a way, I'm like, man, Hot Topic's really keeping like the emo aesthetic alive.
Right, and that just feels like it's not
long
even
after
around
he
anymore.
died.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. I think Hot Topic
I feel
has
like around 2013, like the emo thing was kind
but
of
you gotta think
fading.
For sure. Well, that's the thing, dude. Like everybody that was emo in that time, I think became like a skater. Like they all like had their long. Yeah, like everybody that I knew like started skateboarding after they were like emo.
See, for me, like that's not what happened. Like
No,
people
yeah.
just like kind of just
stopped. They grew up.
no, like they just sort of like turned into like
Catholic.
kind of like how I dress. Like
Yeah,
not
like
really.
they didn't embrace the music culture, but they still listen to it. Is what you're saying?
No,
just, like-
those who did both, like they kind of the emo aesthetic kind of stopped.
Right.
It kind of dropped off, and like we all just kind of I don't know.
No, yeah.
But what was I saying? We got
The emo subculture.
Ooh, that was crazy, guys. I just like dropped off.
But he's back.
I think I'm coming back.
He's here. Don't
Sorry,
let him fool you. He's back.
we're recording this like a little bit later.
Yeah.
And we've been having a busy day, so.
Oh, for sure. The studio's got a lot of fun things here.
I don't know. We'll cut this out actually because this is terrible.
Or we can keep this into the audience. Will be like, oh, this is one of those things they act like they were going to cut out, but they didn't. This is really funny.
No, we're not doing it. We're cutting this, Mike. I hate this.
I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry.
So, like, I guess what kind of I don't know, what kind of subculture were you into?
I was.
And then I want to ask you, what kind of music were you listening to at this time? Because I wanted to share that as well. What I was listening to.
I was definitely the thrash metal.
Really?
Yeah, that was my.
So you were a metalhead.
For sure, and I hate to say this, but like,
so
I know.
That'd be like the subculture you feel like you were.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, Slayer, Metallica, Anthrax, Morbid Angel, you know, little death metal in there, but primarily thrash metal was my thing, man. Okay. I've seen Slayer like 5 times. I've seen Metallica twice. I've seen Anthrax, Suicidal Tendencies. Yeah, I'm a huge metal fan, man. And like, even now, the way I dress, like, you can't tell.
Yeah.
Like, I dress like I play golf for a living, even though I've never played golf. But I love, like, all day I could listen to just any kind of thrash metal. It doesn't matter what it is. And I know, like a big thing, you might not like this, but like a big thing in my subgenre culture was to mock the emo subgenre culture. Well, I noticed, like, I didn't do it. Yeah, I did. But I noticed, like, everybody else did it, too.
And
it was just like, I don't know
if
that
just made it okay, Mike.
It did. Everybody else does it. No, I'm kidding. It was just like, it's like a rivalry. I don't even know, man. Like, because I would always see memes like, oh, yeah, the best part of the apple, or metal's like an apple. Everybody throws out the core. You know what I mean? Like metalcore, like emo metal. You know what I mean? Okay, maybe I'm just too much of a metal fan, man. Maybe I'm.
Dude, all right, yeah. I'm gonna go after metal fans for a little quick second. I would say, I feel like metal fans are some of the most like stingiest and like puritanical music fans,
right?
Like they'll go after all the subgenres. Like, that's not real metal. Like, that's not real music. Like, yeah, I feel like a lot of times when I like talk to metal fans, like, they're nice people, but as far as musical appetite, it's like so limited and specific,
crazy,
and they hate everything else.
Everything else.
That's that's the thing that like irritates. Like, all the metal heads I've met, like, they're nice.
Right,
but like, you know, they're like, yeah, I only listen to thrash.
Judgmental with their metal,
and it's
thrash
like, metal,
Joe.
And anything that isn't thrash metal is like bad. Like, you know.
No, that's definitely a thing, man. That's seriously a thing, and I've seen that a lot, man. Especially just going to a Slayer concert. You know what I mean? You see some kids like walk in that look like they listen to like Black Veil Brides, and like you just see everybody look at them and be like, I hope they get in the mosh pit. I hope so. Oh, and it's crazy. It's like, man, like it's like a bitter. It's kind of like Italian food wars, man. Like, the metal, not food wars, the metal wars.
Oh,
that's something new right there, man.
Yeah,
totally original, highly original. No
highly original content here on the highly original podcast.
Oh, you read my mind.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's. I will say, dude, I will speak on behalf of the Thrash Metal Society. We just have to let everybody else like their own metal.
What do you think about new metal?
I don't like it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, well, give me like an example. Like, you know what I mean? I was a typical thrash metal answer.
I get like a lot of new metal was kind of corny.
Yeah, see,
it was also kind of fun.
See, like, I come from like a rougher upbringing, kind of great family, but just a rougher upbringing, rougher neighborhoods and like that, and that kind of music, man, was like, God, I don't know how to explain it. It was like. It's crazy.
Are you gonna hate on Linkin Park?
No, because I think they did the Transformers.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, so no,
they're considered new metal.
Evanescence, I love.
I don't think they're considered new metal though.
Well, so Linkin Park's considered new metal?
Yeah, I think they
Give
are.
me like another example, like a real known example.
Limp Bizkit, Papa Roach, Korn.
Oh, nah, I'm good on that, man.
Korn?
I love Korn.
I
love Korn. No, I love Korn. Would you consider Tool new metal or nah?
I feel like I've heard people say they're like progressive metal or something.
Primus is thrash metal now.
Although like Muse, I've also heard that like they're like
Muse,
prog.
Yeah, Muse is
prog.
Muse.
You like Muse?
I like Muse. Yeah.
Really?
I like Muse. Yeah.
How have we never talked about this? Muse was one of my like.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, because like. I also I played in like some garage bands in high school. And,
you too, yeah.
Yeah, we would play like the Battle of the Bands at my high school and stuff. But yeah, like we like Muse was like I was really into that. I like Green Day.
I can never get into Green Day, man.
Well, we're not gonna talk about that because I will. No. I might get a little mad if you say.
Sorry. But you gotta understand.
You bad talker.
The audience wants. They love drama.
I don't know, man.
Green Day. No, I'm playing.
Green Day is.
I'm gonna keep it quiet.
They're one of my favorites.
I will say Green Day and like the Simpsons movie. I like Green Day because they're in the Simpsons movie.
Okay.
Yeah, they did.
Not because they're an excellent band, but
No. Like I said, dude.
Well, they are.
I'm not saying they're not. I've never listened to them like that. I'd imagine. Hey, they got a lot of fans, man. It's something I just never listened to. I can't.
do you ever
I can't
have
give an
like
opinion.
people? I'll just throw out a few more bands. I like. Well, I got into him after high school, so I won't mention him. But I will. Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats. They're great. But sorry, Nathaniel. I got into you during college, so I'm not. Maybe another episode. But shout out to Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats. They're great. I don't know, maybe Cage the Elephant a little bit.
Oh, I love Cage. Well, yeah, Cage the Elephant's awesome.
Cage the Elephant.
I can't say I love them because I don't know all their songs, but I do love the songs.
Like the Killers.
Yeah, and was it Come a Little Closer? What's the name of that song?
Hey, that's Cage.
Yeah, well,
that's Cage the Elephant.
Is it just called Come a Little Closer to Me or something like that?
I think so.
Yeah, I love that song. That song,
Come
man.
a little closer and you see.
Yeah, it's like, come on. Yeah, I love that song. Dude, that gives me such a Led Zeppelin vibe, man. I love that.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that song.
But yeah, so I don't know. I feel like that's a good idea of the kind of stuff. Maybe a little Blink 182.
Okay, yeah, I can't say listen. Nah. See, John, like I said, man, I like the more like kind of like that.
System of a Down.
System of a Down. Yeah, that was actually just a riff of Chop Suey. I don't know what that was. System of a Down. I love System of a Down.
Really? See, I'm surprised. I'm surprised because I feel like they would be kind of almost like new metal-ish.
But just the things they spoke about, man, they weren't for me, it was. Like I said, I came from such a background that it was if I hear people complain about stupid stuff, and be really emotional about it, and it was not that deep, I just couldn't take it seriously.
All right, well, I don't think you. But you were saying you didn't even listen to these artists that I was talking about.
No, I'm not down talking them at all. No. I definitely will listen to them, but I just.
So how do you know they were talking about? They weren't talking about stupid stuff.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying for me, music that I listened to growing up that I made an opinion on. If it was something about something stupid, like I said earlier, I stubbed my toe, I'm really mad at the world, I can't listen to that. That's
I've never heard any song.
You never heard of the Toe Stubbers? No, that's no.
I think you were poisoned by these metal purists just lying to you.
I've seen Slayer and
that's not what emo songs were. That's not what punk songs were.
That's what memes say, man. We have to listen to memes, right?
Nah, dude, punk music can be.
Punk music, yeah.
That's Green Day.
Punk's music's cool. Right?
That's what Green Day is.
Like I said, I can't give an opinion on Green Day.
I love that album. You never listened to the album American Idiot?
I heard that song, I Don't Be an American
Idiot. Well, the whole album?
No, dude.
That's a great album.
I probably heard that song on it.
That is a great album. You should listen to that.
Did you hear Rain in Blood, the whole album?
No.
See?
Who even sings that?
Slayer.
Exactly.
And you love it because I don't know, man.
Honestly, man, I probably wouldn't.
You don't think so?
Nah.
But see, that's how I am, dude. I don't think I could listen to any of these bands. I really can't. It's for me, I don't like country either. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I can.
I'm not gonna talk about country. I'm not.
You're not gonna talk about beer in a pickup truck.
No, it's fine.
You like them?
I'm not gonna dislike them. I'm gonna respect that they can exist.
No, I respect they can exist.
I
just for me,
it doesn't. It's not what I'm gonna listen to.
Right. So I think this episode turned into a thrash metal intervention, a thrash metal fan intervention. This is what this is. Are people gonna start coming out that I've been to concerts with?
Thrash metal has hurt me. Your thrash metal has hurt me.
Joe, I'm sorry.
Personally,
Joe,
in this way.
Joe, I'm sorry.
And we're all just gonna list that.
Nah, I don't know, man. I'm funny, and I just love rap music too. So. Just put that out there. So I like a variety of different music, but certain things.
No, same. But dude, I do take a little bit of issue with you saying that all the other genres outside of metal they sing about stupid stuff. Because that's not true.
No, in my opinion, if I hear something to me that just sounds that's not hard times, and I genuinely not hard times, not if I hear someone talking about I don't even know, man. I guess everybody handles things differently, but I was gonna say the Stub My Toe reference against Joe. I can't.
I don't know where that's coming from.
I don't know, man. I just feel like, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know, Joe. I don't know. I probably sound like a broken record, but yeah, man. I'm not dissing anybody. I'm not dissing any music. I can't listen to it if it's like a bunch of screaming about like emotion. Whereas I can listen to Slayer, or I can listen to like, because it just pumps me up. It's like, oh man, like I could build a house in like 5 minutes of the song. I could break down a house in 5 minutes of the song. Whereas like I'll hear something like, I don't even know, man, like Green Day or something like that, and I'm like, I don't want to break a house down to the song.
I don't know. You should listen to Green Day. They have some great songs.
Joe's been staring at me since I made these comments. Man. Like, give me this dirty look, and I'm really
told you,
frightened.
don't go after Green Day.
Frightened, man.
I told you that.
So how about this? You give me 3 songs to listen to tonight, and I'll give you 3 songs to listen to tonight, or tomorrow, or the next day, whenever we have time. And then we'll touch back on this topic because I think there's a lot of animosity here, Joe.
Yeah, you
I like this. I like
insulted a band that I care for, man.
Well, you know what? You said you wouldn't even listen to Slayer, and you insulted me because I love Slayer.
I didn't say anything about their lyrics and their lyrical content.
You were taking it, Joe. You were taking it.
But I didn't say it.
You little Joe. Oh, there we go.
Well,
He admits it. Nah, you know how I am. Did I?
No, and watch all these bands that we're talking about. Like they all like are friends with each other or something.
Yeah, like oh, you're the Holly Original Podcast.
No, I'm not saying they're listening to us.
That'd be cool, man.
I'm saying like there's no animosity between them.
Right.
You know.
No, of course not. They're all making money. Like they're having a great time. Yeah, that's just funny, dude. Like, why are the fans? I'm like, dude, let's go back to Star Wars too. Like metal fans, Star Wars fans.
Should we go back to Star Wars?
No, we tried.
No, please do. I know where you're going.
No, we tried twice. No, but you know what I'm saying? It's so toxic. Like, why do we gotta argue? Why can't we all just be like, you know what? You like a certain type of metal? So do I. It's good.
Yeah, it's because you like.
I'm talking to my thrash metal fans out there. I'm not even talking to Joe. I'm talking to you guys and me. I'm not talking to myself. I'm done talking right now. Joe.
Sign us off.
All
right.
It's been an hour. Sign us off.
All right, guys. Man. So once again, thanks for listening to the Highly Original Podcast. Please, continue to support us. Tell your friends. I don't know, just help us out. I mean, I feel. It's fun.
It's a lot of fun, dude. I'm having a great time.
It's a fun podcast, you know.
It really is, because in all seriousness, we do cover so many different bases, you know what I mean? But I think today, this was like a little, episode 4. I think we did pretty good, man. We covered some good topics.
I mean,
I like the animosity, Joe. I like that. Like, Joe's giving me some looks, man. I like that. I like that. It's good. Animosity's good, man. All the viewers out there, I think, like animosity.
Do they?
I don't know. Thrash metal viewers do. We know the viewers. Yeah. Nah, man. Everybody, we appreciate all the support.
No, really.
And we want to give you guys good content. We just want to fuel your podcast needs with podcasts.
Hey guys, Joe again. Just forgot to mention one new thing with the podcast. We are taking a little bit of a hiatus with adding visual elements to the show on YouTube. So you will, we'll still be on YouTube, but as far as the artwork and adding, clips and images, we're going to be taking a little bit of a hiatus from that until we can really kind of figure it out. Just for the sake of getting these episodes out right now. So I just wanted to give you that little update. All right. Thank you, guys.